If you ever watch Cosmos play Corrin, you may notice that he sometimes relies on spaced back airs pretty heavily in neutral. In this video, we'll look at when that might be a good idea while also covering the many ways you can optimize your spacing with the move. As previously covered in my full Corrin guide, back air is an amazing tool to challenge airborne opponents as they aren't able to shield, and it's also Corrin's safest aerial due to its massive range and forward momentum boost. Its impressive range also makes it extra valuable in matchups where the opponent relies on disjoints, as it can compete with the range of most attacks. Although it doesn't lead to any combos like forward air, it deals good damage and hits hard, so it's generally best to put increasingly more focus on this tool as your opponent's damage gets higher. This is especially true when your opponent is at too high of a percentage to be reliably comboed by forward air. Often these percentages are the same that will kill near ledges, but even if it doesn't quite kill, it'll often set you up for an easy edge guard. Remember that just about any time you use back air on stage, you should fast fall as soon as possible, which is immediately after the hitbox comes out. It's important to be well practiced at quickly inputting a reverse aerial rush, otherwise known as RAR, to face away from your opponent as you jump. And for those of you who may not know, this is essentially inputting a turnaround skid, but jumping immediately after inputting it. Doing this properly can allow you to micro-position yourself to get the perfect back air spacing. And keep in mind that you may be inputting this only a few frames after your initial dash. Also keep in mind that whenever you input a RAR, you'll have quite a bit of forward momentum by default when you release the control stick during your jump squat. This can be useful for approaching with a back air, however you should know that you can also input a RAR straight up by holding the control stick back during your jump squat and releasing it right after. This gives you the freedom to drift in either direction. Mastering this timing is important as you won't be committed to moving toward your opponent, so you can focus on challenging an approach. Also, you can drift back to punish a whiff, and you can still drift forward if they choose not to approach you. Keep in mind that the latest you can input your back air is 26 frames after you input your short hop, which is slightly after the peak of your short hop right here. Any later and the move will cancel before the hitbox comes out. Being familiar with this timing is important as it can be tough to hit short characters otherwise. Another way you can utilize back air in neutral is to use it aggressively by buffering it with a short hop. This can overwhelm some characters as it's difficult to punish and can catch their jumps. However, this is much more situational to use as it will only hit characters who are taller than Pit while standing. When doing this, you can either input a RAR out of a dash, or you can use an attack cancel back air which allows you to do this during your initial dash frames. To perform an attack cancel back air, first I'd recommend setting your C stick to tilt and a bumper to jump. Start by inputting a dash, then within 7 frames add a reverse forward tilt input with the C stick, and then within 1 or 2 frames input a jump. As long as you're still holding the control stick forward, the resulting aerial will always be a back air. Attack cancel back airs are very important for Corrin's neutral as there are many instances where you'll need to back air without much space to dash. So to conclude with that in mind, the amount of back airs that you choose to use in a match should be dependent mostly on your opponent's damage, but also their height. So sometimes it can be a legitimate option to spam it in neutral. To stay up to date on Corrin's best strategies, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any new uploads. Also, let me know down below any questions or suggestions you have. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.